Al Haymon lets it be known that he ain't rocking with Turkey and them trying to change the Muhammad Ali Act. Let's talk about it in this video. Smash the like, sub to the channel, share the video, turn on your notifications. We are live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30. I'm also live Sunday mornings with the singing OG KC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Join the channel as a member. Drop super chats when you come by the live streams and the videos that we do. And hit me up if you want to debate. The email address is knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com. But without further ado, let's get it cracking, let's get it popping, let's get into this video. So, shout out to Cam J Network, man. He did an interview with a higher up, the director over there at Premier Boxing Champion. And he did a great job. And one thing that the gentleman came on there and said was that from his education of the Muhammad Ali Act revisions that Turki'S Sheikh and TKO are trying to do, and from his knowledge of how UFC and its fighters have been in different lawsuits and the issues that UFC has had, he doesn't agree with the repeal and revision of the Muhammad Ali Act. And he don't understand why anybody would advocate for people coming over to boxing that treated fighters the way that UFC treated fighters. And so basically, he's a mouthpiece for Al Haymon. No disrespect to nobody, but he ain't saying that without the guidance or without the okay of Al Haymon. You know what I'm saying? Because he is someone that has a business relationship with Al Haymon. He works for Al Haymon. He represents PBC's company. And so he's not saying that without knowing that that's how the company feels as a whole, and that's the company stance. And this is very important to talk about. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. You can catch me live on this channel Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm also live Sunday mornings with KC Boxing Network at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I ask that you join the channel as a member. Drop super chats when you come by live streams that we do. And if you want to debate me on any boxing topic, my email address is knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com. And don't forget to use YouTube's new feature where you can hype up your video or your favorite content creators. And I please would ask you to hype up this video if you have any hypes left. They're totally free for you. All you got to do is scroll over where you leave a comment, hit that hype button, and it really helps me out a lot. It's going to increase the reach of this video. It's going to help us in the YouTube algorithm, and it's going to make more people that are looking for boxing talk content. It's going to pop me up when they search that content as a recommended channel for them to look at, the more hypes that we get each week. So please help your boy out by hyping up the video if you haven't used up all your hypes for this week. But let's get it cracking. I think this is very, very interesting because let's just keep it 100, right? With all of the fighters that PBC has under its banner, they have somewhere between 150 to 200 fighters under contract as currently stands. With all of the fighters that they have under contract, having the Muhammad Ali Act revision, having the act in place, if it were to go through, that could put them in a more advantageous position to make money and to generate revenue for themselves by having their own UBO, by having their own belt, by having their own league. Because not only will they be able to make more money because of how it's structured, they have a lot of superstars. Or not superstars. They have a lot of well-known name fighters in boxing. Guys that are much more known than who TKO is starting their league with, which is obviously Callum Walsh and Vito Mielnicki Jr. Vito Mielnicki Jr. is basically a PBC reject. He started off his career on PBC, had to go to Top Rank. Now he's over there with TKO Promotions because ain't nobody really rocking with Vito Mielnicki Jr., right? Callum Walsh is a UFC Fight Pass fighter. Never been on a major card for a major promotional company here in America. And he's somebody that the casual fans or, you know, semi-casual fans don't really know. But when you look at Premier Boxing Champions, if they get to starting up their own league with names like Gervonta Tank Davis, Eris Landy Lara, Pitbull Cruz, Manny Pacquiao, Jermell and Jamal Charlo, Earl Spence Jr., Frank Martin, Gary Antoine Russell, Jose Rayo Valenzuela, Alberto Puello, David Benavidez, David Morrell, Stephen Fulton, And the list goes on and on. Bro, they league could be popping off if they were able to have the type of things that they're trying to set up through the Muhammad Ali Revision Act or Repeal Act that they're trying to pass through Turki'S and Dana White. So the fact that they're looking at something that could help their company, but still say we don't support this, it just speaks volumes to what Al Haymon's reputation is as a fighters first manager, as a fighters first type of businessman, and that he's not about screwing over fighters. Because if you give him an opportunity to where he don't have to worry about paying fighters what their worth is or trying to make them make the most amount of money, but he only focuses on making the most amount of money for himself, and he can treat fighters unfairly and change the game up that way, man, that'll put him in a position to really even be more powerful in the sport of boxing. So the fact that his representative was over there on my brother Cam J Network's channel, and he was saying, nah, we don't support that, because you look at where it got UFC, where they got all these deals and the fighters didn't like it and they got all these lawsuits going on. Bro, that speaks volumes to what they're about and what they're trying to establish themselves as they, you know, just passed their first decade in business, because PBC was created in 2015 to 2025. I find that very interesting. And I think it's why Al Haymon, for the most part, gets the type of loyalty that he gets from his fighters that he deals with. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, you won't find a lot of people that have a negative thing to say about Al Haymon. They give him his flowers. They respect him, and they like what he has done for their careers, bro. And I think it's because of things like this, right? I think it's very, very telling that PBC is not in support of repealing the Muhammad Ali Act, because outside of what Turkey is trying to do, they are the company most positioned, or best positioned, I should say, where this will be beneficial to them. They have their own network with Prime Video that can reach 150 million, 200 million people because of all the subscribers that they got. They got a huge roster of fighters already signed to them for the foreseeable future. So having a league model where you have your own belt, you have your own ranking system, and you can ignore everybody else. On top of that, you have some of the biggest and brightest stars in the sport. They're uniquely positioned to take advantage of said act if that act was to come into play, where you can cut fighters out of profits, and you can only pay them a certain amount, and they got a set amount that they can make. You can do your own ranking system. You can ignore other sanctioning bodies and shit like that. That type of model is something that PBC could have a lot of success with. A lot of success. But it's not on brand with what Al Haymon has done with empowering fighters, showing them how to manage their money, showing them the business side of boxing and just business in general, and empowering them to try to build generational wealth. That's not on brand with what he got into boxing to do. And I respect the fact that he has representatives as high up as this gentleman was that was talking to Cam J, coming out and saying something like that. Now, he did say based on limited information that he has and what he knows about it. But he said he wanted to make it clear he supports the Muhammad Ali Act as it currently is. I'm rocking with it, bro. I'm rocking with it. But y'all let me know what y'all think of this development. Al Haymon, Premier Boxing Champions, they admonish Turki'S, admonish Dana White, and they do not support this revision or this change of the Muhammad Ali Act. They would like it to stay as it is, And shout out again to Cam J Network for providing the content for us to talk about this situation. Smash that like, sub to the channel. I see y'all soon. Peace.